One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? A woman should soften but not weaken a man. Religious doctrines are all illusions. They do not admit of proof, and no one can be compelled to consider them as true or to believe in them. It is impossible to escape the impression that people commonly use false standards of measurement, that they seek power, success, and wealth for themselves and admire them in others, and that they underestimate what is of true value in life. Religion is an attempt to get control over the sensory world in which we are placed by means of the wish world which we have developed inside us as a result of biological and psychological necessities. But it cannot achieve its end. In the small matters, trust the mind, in the large ones, the heart. We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious. Words have a magical power. They can either bring the greatest happiness or the deepest despair. We are what we are because we have been what we have been. All family life is organized around the most damaged person in it. Human beings are funny. They long to be with the person they love but refuse to admit openly. Some are afraid to show even the slightest sign of affection because of fear. Fear that their feelings may not be recognized, or even worse, returned. But one thing about human beings puzzles me the most is their conscious effort to be connected with the object of their affection, even if it kills them slowly within. Love is a state of temporary psychosis. Maturity is the ability to postpone gratification. Knowledge is the intellectual manipulation of carefully verified observations. Not to know the past is to be in bondage to it, while to remember, to know, is to be set free. I have found little good about human beings. In my experience, most of them are trash. History is just new people making old mistakes. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is, what does a woman want? The ego is not master in its own house. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. The only person with whom you have to compare yourself is you in the past. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. The goal of all life is death. No one who, like me, conjures up the most evil of those half-tamed demons that inhabit the human beast and seeks to wrestle with them can expect to come through the struggle unscathed. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. The price we pay for our advance in civilization is a loss of happiness through the heightening of the sense of guilt. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. The sexual life of adult women is a dark continent for psychology. The madman is a dreamer awake. The neurotic is nailed to the cross of his fiction. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. A woman will never want sex with a man who doesn't get her hints. The time comes when each one of us has to give up as illusions the expectations which, in his youth, he pinned upon his fellow men, and when he may learn how much difficulty and pain has been added to his life by their ill will. The only thing about masturbation to be ashamed of is doing it badly. If you like the video, then please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.